The summer is almost over, but the biggest storm is still ahead. In Season 3, Episode 11 of the summer, I Turned Pretty. Everything we've been waiting for, every secret, every choice, every heartache, comes crashing down in the finale. And the trailer gives us a first look at the heartbreak, the passion, and the decision that will finally change Belly's life forever. Asterisk, the story so far has been a roller coaster of emotions. Episode 10 left fans with hearts racing. The trailer for Episode 11 wastes no time reminding us that we're heading into the most important chapter of the season. Belly is caught between two people she loves, and the trailer makes it clear this is the moment where she has to stop running from her feelings and finally face them. The camera lingers on the summer house, that familiar place filled with laughter, arguments, and the ghosts of memories that refuse to fade. Every time we see it, it feels less like a setting and more like a character itself, one that has witnessed every hug, every fight, every tear shed by Belly, Conrad and Jeremiah. In this finale, the summer house becomes the stage for the final act, the place where bonds will be tested and where decisions can no longer be. Delayed Episode 10 reminded us that nothing is easy when the heart is divided. Belly's bond with Jeremiah grew stronger as he stood by her side, offering stability, warmth, and the kind of love that feels safe. But Conrad's shadow lingers deep and unforgettable. His moments with Belly are different charged, complicated, filled with the history they can never escape. The finale trailer seems to be building toward a collision between these two paths, and Belly is the one standing at the crossroads. The trailer gives us flashes of Belly staring out at the ocean, the waves crashing as if mirroring her own thoughts. It's not just a pretty shot, it's a symbol. The sea has always been about freedom and escape in this series, but here it feels heavy, like it's reminding her that no matter where she runs, her heart will still demand an answer. This is the calm before the storm, the quiet moment before everything comes to light. We also catch glimpses of the brothers Conrad with his familiar intensity, Jeremiah with his protective energy. They're not just fighting for Belly's love. They're fighting to hold on to the version of their lives that they're terrified of losing. The memory of their mother, Susannah, hovers over every frame. She wanted her boys happy. She wanted Belly to find her way. And in this finale, her presence is almost like a silent guide, pushing the characters toward the choices that will define their future. What makes this trailer so powerful is how little it actually shows while still saying so much. The looks exchanged, the half-spoken words, the weight in Belly's expression, these are the things that pull us in. We know the finale will be emotional, but the trailer makes it clear that it won't just be about who Belly ends up with. It's about all of them growing up, facing heartbreak, and realizing that summer can't last forever. In these first moments, the trailer sets the tone for Episode 11 perfectly, emotional, nostalgic, and filled with tension. It promises us that the finale will not just be a continuation, a turning point, the kind that stays with you long after the credits roll. Asterisk, the trailer opens with quiet. Not silence, but that kind of hushed sound that makes you hold your breath. Waves crash in the background, the camera moving slowly across the coastline. And then there's Belly. She's not smiling, not laughing the way we first met her in past summers. Instead, she looks lost in thought, as if the weight of every choice she's made has finally caught up to her. This single image sets the mood. The finale is not going to be lighthearted. It's going to be the storm after the calm. The first major shot that stands out is of the beach at sunset. We see Belly walking alone, the orange glow wrapping around her like a halo. But her body language says everything. Shoulders heavy, steps unsteady. This is not the walk of someone carefree. It's the walk of someone carrying the burden of a decision she cannot escape. Right here, the trailer is telling us this finale is about facing the truth, no matter how much it hurts. Then we cut to Conrad. He's standing in the summer house, leaning against the doorway, staring into the distance. The camera lingers on his face, and for once, his walls seem to have cracked. His eyes look softer, more vulnerable, almost like he's ready to say the words he's held back for too long. And in trailers, shots like these are never random. They're placed carefully as a hint. Could this be the moment Conrad finally confesses the depth of his feelings? But before the thought even settles, Jeremiah enters the frame in another scene. His energy is completely different. Where Conrad is quiet and intense, Jeremiah is full of action. The trailer shows him standing protectively next to Belly, his hand brushing against hers. It's subtle, but it speaks volumes. Jeremiah is not waiting, he's stepping forward, willing to fight for her in a way that feels immediate and real. This creates the visual clash that fans have been debating for years, the choice between safety and passion, between stability and intensity. What's even more interesting is the way the trailer plays with silence. Instead of filling it with constant dialogue, it leaves space for us to feel the tension. We see Conrad open his mouth as if to speak, but the sound cuts out, leaving us only with the crash of waves. We see Jeremiah's expression tighten, his jaw clenching as he looks at Belly but again, no words. These choices are intentional. They're not just withholding dialogue to create suspense. They're letting the audience project their own emotions onto these characters. The most emotional sequence comes halfway through the trailer. Belly is shown sitting in her room, holding an old photo of her with Susannah. It's quick, maybe only a second long, but it's unforgettable. That single shot reminds us that this story has always been about more than romance. It's about loss, about memory, about growing up in the shadow of someone you can never truly let go of. Susannah's presence lingers like a whisper, and in episode 11, it feels like she's the silent judge of Belly's final choice. The trailer also hints at confrontation. There's a flash of Conrad and Jeremiah standing face to face, tension in their body language, their voices rising in anger. The sound fades before we hear the argument. But the message is clear. This finale will not shy away from breaking bonds, even between brothers. And Belly, caught between them, is shown in the background of that shot, tears in her eyes. This isn't just about who she loves, it's about what her choice will cost. And then, just when we think we've seen enough, the trailer ends with a haunting image. Belly turning her head, her eyes filled with tears as someone whispers her name. We don't see who it is. The camera cuts to black, leaving the audience with the ache of not knowing. This is the cliffhanger within the trailer itself. Perfect way to pull us toward Episode 11 with more questions than answers. What makes this breakdown so unique is not just the romance, but the weight of finality hanging over every scene. The color tones are darker, the pacing slower, the expressions heavier. The trailer is not asking us to pick a side, it's asking us to prepare for heartbreak, no matter the outcome. Asterisk at its heart, this finale trailer is not just about romance. It's about the emotions that stay with us long after a summer ends. The story has always been framed around Belly's relationships with Conrad and Jeremiah. But when you look closer, you realize the real story is about growing up. It's about saying goodbye to a version of yourself that only exists in the golden haze of summer. One of the strongest themes the trailer hints at is love versus loyalty. Belly has spent the entire season pulled in two directions. On one side, there is love, the kind of messy, overwhelming love she feels for Conrad, the kind that breaks her open even when it scares her. On the other side, there is loyalty, the comfort and devotion she finds in Jeremiah, someone who has shown up for her when others pulled away. The finale forces her to ask, do you follow your heart even if it hurts, or do you choose the person who has always chosen you? This is a question so many people struggle with in their own lives, which is why the story hits so deeply. Another theme that shines through is closure. The trailer keeps circling back to images of the summer house, the ocean, and even that photo of Susannah. These are not random details. They are symbols of things coming to an end. The house is no longer just a place to gather. It's a reminder of everything they're about to leave behind. The ocean no longer feels endless. It feels heavy, like time itself is pulling them forward whether they're ready or not. And Susannah's memory lingers as a reminder that life does not stop for anyone. Closure is coming, whether the characters want it or not. There's also the theme of growing pains. In the trailer, Belly doesn't look like the carefree girl we met in season 1. She looks older, wiser, and weighed down by choices. This is the show's way of showing us that summers don't last forever. Childhood ends. People grow up. And part of growing up means realizing that love doesn't fix everything, it complicates it, it challenges it, and sometimes it forces you to make decisions you wish you didn't have to. But perhaps the most powerful theme the trailer teases is the idea of memory versus change. The characters are holding on so tightly to what used to be the perfect summers, the easy laughter, the promises they made when they were younger. Yet, Episode 11 reminds us that memory is not enough to carry you forward. Change is coming, and it demands sacrifice. Conrad, Jeremiah, and Belly are no longer just kids in love. They are young adults standing at the edge of a future that feels terrifying because it's unknown. The emotional core of this trailer is not about who gets the kiss at the end. It's about who survives the heartbreak of growing up. And the trailer seems to be telling us that not everyone will get what they want. Someone will be left hurting. Someone will walk away. And all of them will be forced to look at the pieces and decide whether their bonds can survive. This is why the trailer feels heavier than anything we've seen before. The colors are muted, the pacing is slower, and the music lingers with a bittersweet tone. It's not a love story anymore, it's a coming-of-age story. And that's what makes this finale so unique. It isn't promising us a fairy tale ending. It's preparing us for an ending that feels real. So when we watch Belly staring at the ocean, or Jeremiah's protective gestures, or Conrad's vulnerable silence, we're not just watching a love triangle. We're watching three young people standing at the edge of change, learning that summer doesn't last forever. And that sometimes, the hardest part of growing up is learning to let go. Asterisk. The trailer doesn't just show us moments, it dares us to guess what comes next. Every cut, every look, every silence feels like a puzzle piece, and fans are left trying to fit them together. The beauty of this finale is that it refuses to hand us easy answers. Instead, it invites us to dream, to worry, and to imagine the ending before it finally arrives. The most obvious question, of course, is, who will Belly choose? The trailer plays with this tension, giving us flashes of intimacy with Jeremiah, followed by Conrad's quiet, heartbreaking glances. But here's what makes it clever just when you think it leans toward one brother. The edit shifts and pulls you back toward the other. This back and forth is not by accident. It's meant to keep us guessing until the final scene of episode 11. One theory many fans hold on to is that Belly may choose Conrad. The love that's always been there, the one that feels written into her bones. His vulnerable look in the trailer suggests he may finally open up in ways he never has before. Could his confession, timed with the weight of the finale, be enough to pull Belly back to him? If so, it would feel like Destiny's a culmination of a love story years in the making. But then there's Jeremiah. The trailer shows him standing tall, protective, unshaken, always at Belly's side. His presence is steady, his love undeniable. For many fans, Jeremiah represents not destiny, a conscious decision to choose someone who shows up day after day, who offers comfort over chaos. If Belly chooses Jeremiah, it would signal that she's ready to build a love rooted in loyalty rather than unpredictability. And yet, there's a third possibility, one the trailer whispers without ever saying aloud. What if Belly chooses herself? The ocean imagery, the heavy silence, the tears that fall without resolution, these could all hint at a finale where Belly decides not to be defined by a boy. But by her own growth. It would be the boldest choice of all, one that reflects real life more than fantasy. Sometimes the right ending isn't a love story, it's self-discovery, beyond romance. The trailer also teases other possible shocks. The brothers' confrontation could leave scars that don't heal quickly. Will their relationship survive once Belly finally chooses? Or will the finale fracture the Fisher family forever? The silence between them in the trailer doesn't just suggest anger. It suggests heartbreak. It's a kind of wound that only time and forgiveness can mend. Another theory lies in Susannah's memory. The quick glimpse of Belly holding her photo feels deliberate, as if the finale will circle back to her influence one last time. Could there be a letter, a memory, or even a flashback that helps Belly see clearly? Susannah's presence has always been the heart of this story. And episode 11 may honor her in a way that ties everything together. And then there's the tone of the trailer itself. Darker colors, slower pacing, lingering silences, it all points to an ending that may not be clean. The finale could leave us with bittersweet closure, or even a cliffhanger that carries into the next season. Perhaps Belly makes her choice, but the aftermath leaves us questioning whether it's truly final. After all, in this story, love is never simple, and endings are rarely neat. So what does the trailer want us to believe? That episode 11 is about more than romance. It's about saying goodbye to innocence, to summers that once felt endless, and to the idea that love can exist without sacrifice. Whether Belly ends up with Conrad, Jeremiah, or no one at all, the finale is promising one thing: change. And that change will mark the end of one chapter and the start of something entirely new.